Today, the second day of Global MBB Forum here in Tokyo, and we had 4.5G Summit. 4.5G Summit today, actually attended by numerous number of operators, and actually we had 9 speakers today. Those 9 speakers actually coming from 7 countries across the world. So the summit opened from NGN. So NGN basically mentioned that 4.5G is not just about technology. 4.5G actually it's a business solution that will allow or enable operators to have business sustainability and to transform their business. So that was a key comment from NGN to start with. And he presented actually 3 different use cases, practical use cases that are currently in business commercial in the world. One of them actually is about public safety LITRA, which is using trunking technology. He mentioned that there is one operator that is basically saving 60% of the cost by moving to LITRA, and they also make about $13,000 per base station per year. And from the other example that he had, which is about a mining application, and those guys, they have 11 base stations and they generate actually $75,000 per year. The third one that he mentioned was about IoT, and that was a water company in Asia that has 1.7 million meters, and they collect about $6 per year per meter. So this is actually a very good sign to start with the whole summit. Following NGN, Alan Haddon from GSTA, he had a good overview of the market status of 4.5G. He mentioned that currently there are 105 networks, whether they are commercial or commercially trying 4.5G. And he actually went on and defined the 4.5G. So 4.5G, he mentioned about 13 features that if the operator is adopting 1 or 2 of those features, then we can say it's 4.5G. He also had a good overview of the ecosystem and what are those terminals that are available now. The good thing about Alan's presentation actually is that he always correlate 3 things together: standard, technology, and marketing, and that's very important when we talk to our customers. Following Alan Haddon, Joe Parrott, who is the president of GSA, he released their small cell white paper. This white paper actually has contribution from Huawei as well as Ericsson, and he highlighted the benefit of small cell, which actually was a great enabler for that time and for 4.5G Summit because it enables indoor gigabyte as well. So regarding the small cell, he highlighted actually 3 benefits of a small cell: enhancing user experience and easing the network deployment, and also enhancing operation for the network. So that was Joe Barrett's presentation from Turkcell. So Turkcell basically is one of the world major 4.5G carriers, and they are also actually one of the first operators in the globe to launch 4.5G, and that happens back in April 1st. So Turkcell basically highlighted that they have 49,000 base stations. They cover about 99.8% of the population, and user speeds sometimes reach 450 megabit per second, and they had also VoLTE from day one. That was also a good use case or a good deployment model from Turkcell. Following Turkcell, there was a gentleman from Globe Philippines. Globe Philippines, they talked a little bit about a fixed application, which is WTTX, which is actually an application from 4.5G network. They actually mentioned how Philippines actually is very difficult place to run fiber because it's composed of 7,000 islands, and it is very hard to extend the fiber. So that's why WTTX is one of the attractive solution there. And they actually mentioned that a good thing that I personally like, which is broadband by itself is not a goal. So what they do is they bundle the broadband or the access itself, they bundle with the content or with the gaming so that they can encourage user to use a broadband. There was an operator from Finland. They characterize themselves as the land of mobile data consumption, and he highlighted that the usage is about 10 gigabyte per month, which is very high. But Finland also is characterized by the very sparse population that's spread all over the country, so mostly rural area. However, the need for speed is high there, and the important or the different thing about the case from Finland is that it was shared RAN. So he talked about how they are doing it, and he talked about how they are actually now having 5 carrier aggregation, that will allow the user to have a real speed of up to 295 megabit per second, and the throughput per cell is about 100 megabit per second, which is actually very high from Finland. Following SYV, we had a presentation from Sean Lee. He is the CEO of China Mobile in Hong Kong. Actually, Hong Kong is a very interesting city. To me, I characterize Hong Kong as it's a fashion city when it comes to adopting technology features, specifically air interface. In Hong Kong, you have 57,000 people living per square kilometer, so that's a very high density area, and at the same time it's very hard to build sites there, and the spectrum, as we all know, is not really unlimited, so that put a lot of pressure and a lot of requirement to adopt radio feature or capacity enhancing feature. So he talked about one key enabler for 4.5G technology, which is the convergence of TDD and FDD, and also another one he talked about is the massive MIMO. Massive MIMO for TDD, he talked about 2.3 gigahertz using 20 megahertz spectrum, and how they reach, for a live demo, they reach about 650 megabit per second. And that was really impressive to hear from Hong Kong. Following Sean Lee, we had a presentation from Jesper Oldenberg from TDC from Denmark. So he basically highlighted how they are reaching a gigabit per second and how they elevated their speed from 2014 to 2016, 150 megabit per second, 400 megabit per second, and to 1 gigabit per second. So he highlighted that in Denmark, these are the happiest people on earth, and that's why I don't think is that because of the high usage or the high usage resulted in actually the happiest people on earth. So a couple of numbers I liked from TDC. He mentioned that more than 80% of the video consumed at least at 720 pixel. And he said that 15% of the high-def video contribute about 65% of the traffic. So now, here you go. That's another key data point. It tells you how important the video is, and that's the trend in having a high-quality video and having a high amount of video consumed in the network. Bob Tai, president of FDD LTE product line, he came to the stage and actually he announced two things. He announced Lampsight 3.0 Pro, which is actually give a lot of capacity enhancement, and he also announced 4.5G evolution. If I can summarize in one word what 4.5G evolution is, 4.5G evolution confirm that 4.5G is a living thing. 4.5G is not just to stop today by certain kind of release. 4.5G will stay to enhance the speed, the capacity. It will also stay to enhance a lot of features to really bridge 4G and 5G. So he talked about three things. He talked about go giga, go vertical, and also go cloudification. These are three major directions that our R&D is doing right now in order to go there. So after Bob's presentation, there was a ceremony actually to kick off 4.5G evolution, and that ceremony was really kicked off by all of the speakers, and after that it was a group picture. It was really a very good day here in Tokyo today about 4.5G.